Hey everyone, I want to talk about what's going on in the market. I get asked that all the time. So just wanted to report on some numbers that have come out regarding last month's numbers. So what we are mostly looking at is year over year. So comparing this time last year to this time this year. So I do want to say that year over year, last month's sales were actually 2% higher than they were last year. So that has us sitting in the San Antonio Metroplex at an average of $365,000 for homes. I do want to say that you have to keep in mind, though, that prices continued to rise after February last year. So they continued to rise until, I would say, close to the end of the year. So what you may have seen in prices in July or June or August or something like that may have come down since then. But year over year, 2% higher than we were here last year. So hopefully that gives you some sense of relief that prices haven't crashed, like maybe you're hearing from some news outlets. And I do want to say too that the price per square foot has also virtually had no change and sits at $176 a square foot. Although I will say that this varies greatly by area, neighborhood, features of your home, and even your square footage. So don't run off and multiply whatever your home square footage is by 176,000. It does depend on a lot of factors. And then also on the other hand, so now we're going to talk about things that did change significantly year over year. So we have actually seen a decrease of 17% in the number of total sales. So the total sales year over year has decreased by 17%. What does that mean? There's just not as many sales happening. So if you have your home on the market, that's certainly something that you are feeling, maybe less showings, less offers, that kind of thing. But it also has dramatically affected the biggest year over year change, and that is the number of days that a home is sitting on the market before receiving an acceptable contract. So again, that's the number of days from when you put your house on the market until you are actually signing the contract that you end up closing on has actually increased a lot. So the average number of days has increased by, let's drum roll here, it's increased by 84%. That is huge. That is a definite increase, which means that we are sitting at an average of 70 days on the market in the San Antonio Metroplex. So that's 70. So, maybe it was 7 minutes last year, and now it's 70 days on the market. So I do want to say that homes are certainly still selling and prices haven't plummeted, but the length of time it takes to get a house sold has dramatically increased. I will say that we still do see homes that have some multiple offers, maybe just 2 or 3 instead of 10 or 12 or whatever we were seeing in the past, but it is much more of a stable market. It feels a little bit more comfortable, honestly, for buyers and sellers. Those sellers that got caught up in all those offers, it was exciting, but it was extremely stressful, and we were seeing a lot of buyers terminate and those kinds of things. So I will say that we are in a more stable market. And another thing I want to talk about is one thing that you can't measure with statistics from our MLS is buyer mindset. And I am definitely seeing this. So a house that I put on the market last week, my clients, the sellers, priced it reasonably where it should be. They made sure that there was not a speck of dust in that home, that there was no clutter at all in that home, in any room, in any closet, anywhere, no clutter at all. It just looked perfectly clean. And they did receive 3 offers at full price. At least 2 of the offers were at full price. And I want to say that that is because they appealed to buyer mindset. So buyers know that home prices have gone up over the last year or 2 by double digits, and they are expecting more from the homes they're looking at because they are priced so much higher. So they are expecting to look at homes that look and smell good, and to walk into a home that is move-in ready and needs little to no improvements. They are not looking to walk into a project with how much prices have gone up. And if a home doesn't meet those criteria, so it doesn't look good, it doesn't look updated, and it needs improvements, there's stains on the floor, there's dated appliances, those kinds of things, they expect the pricing of the home to beyond make up for it. So when I say beyond, I mean almost double. So let's say that you have carpet throughout your house, and most of the other homes in the neighborhood have hard surface wood flooring in all of their common areas, and that would cost $20,000 to replace that wood, let's just say. They don't want $20,000 off the price. They don't want a $20,000 allowance. They want a $40,000 concession or something close to that. They want more than enough to make up for it, to make up for the inconvenience of it, to make up for that it didn't just wow them the second they walked in the door. So I do want to say that is certainly something that is happening and with almost every area that I'm seeing. Now, if it's the norm in your neighborhood to have carpet in your living room, then that's different. But buyers are still out there and they are purchasing homes. Another thing that's driving buyers to still make those purchases, even with higher interest rates and still really great pricing, has to do with the average residential rental rate. So an average residential home in San Antonio is renting for over $1,800 a month. $1,800 a month. And that's increasing. Tenants have been seeing increases from their landlords year after year recently. And some of those have been significant, $300, $400 increases that they're seeing every year. And so it's becoming more appealing to those tenants to go ahead and, even with higher interest rates, lock in how much their monthly payment's going to be. So if they own a house, their principal and interest will be fixed and they can start budgeting that way instead of knowing that they're going to receive continual yearly rent increases. So those previous tenants are out there buying homes, but then also just life happens, right? Marriages happen, divorce happens, babies happen, empty nests happen, new jobs happen, those kinds of things. So there are always reasons to make a move. And one final stat that I wanted to mention in the San Antonio Metroplex is that the majority of homes, 73% actually of homes in our Metroplex, are selling between $200,000 and $500,000, with only 10% of homes selling below $200,000 and 16% selling above $500,000. So it's crazy to me that now San Antonio prices have increased enough that there's more homes selling over $500,000 than there are selling below $200,000. So definitely something to keep in mind. I hope you find this information helpful. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any other questions or you want to know more specifics about wherever you live or wherever you're looking to move. Thank you and have a wonderful day.